Wow. Wow. Well, I guess at this point there's just final thoughts to wrap up on as the credits roll. And I will say, I was really happy with this one. Like, I didn't know what to expect. Like, this is the last one I had ever not played, and for the most part, oh look, they're running around. I didn't know really what to expect. I'd played 4, I had played 6. I figured this one would fall somewhere in between those two, and just in terms of like design, development, aesthetic type of thing. But no, this one far and away decided to just take the concept and run in a different direction with it. This is by far the most comedic take on a Final Fantasy game, and that's not a bad thing. The entire game is kind of set up in this way that it's kind of like a fun adventure. There's jokes, there's laughs, there's dramatic points that are really, really heart-wrenching sometimes. And there are times when the characters are... They're not flat, one-dimensional characters. They're like, Bart's... You know, he's kind of a stumbling kind of guy. He speaks plainly. He says what's on his mind. And as he's talking, you know, he'll come off sometimes as a jerk. But that's just because he wears it all on his shoulder, on his sleeve. He's honest. He just says what he's thinking. He means well, but he doesn't always think before he says anything. So he ends up becoming kind of a doofus. But his heart's in the right place, and he works very hard to, like, make sure that... I am loving these sprites, by the way. This is, like, the only time you get, like, a isometric view on some of these things, and it's kind of crazy, but it's awesome. And it comes off as kind of like this... He never comes off as, like, a flat character. He's very well-rounded. He's got multiple layers to him, although, much like some other characters, a lot of times you could probably overlook a lot of his other traits. And the same with Len, who honestly has, like, probably the most interesting kind of conflict in the fact that she is constantly torn between she wants to save her father, she wants to save the world, and she wants to protect her kingdom. And by the end, she's failed to do all 3 of those things, really. Exdeath gets what he wants, her father's dead, and the kingdom gets absorbed immediately into the dimensional rift. So in the entire 3rd act, she is in a place where she is desperate for a win. Ferris is constantly struggling with what she wants to be in life. Galoof is trying to deal with the fact that, you know, he didn't have his memories at first, so he's just kind of a wacky, fun character, but as soon as he gets his memories back, he becomes a rock of, like, the plot. Like, he knows what's at stake, he knows what Exdeath can do, and he's not afraid to share that with people, you know, and make sure you know what's going on. He's a king, he's a ruler, he, you know, knows how to take care of his people, he knows how to handle as a general and a warrior. Honestly, if there was anything that I could really say that I was really lacking is I am 100% confused on Exdeath. Like, I got that he wanted to merge the worlds, he wanted to take control of the void, but I never really understood why. Like, I'm assuming he was a creature that dwelt before the rift was created and got, you know, imprisoned in it at one point or something. I don't know. Why was he a tree? I get trees were very important to the plot. Trees kept coming up in the plot, but then he also was a tree. Which I don't know if that was supposed to recognize the fact that trees are a symbol of divinity in this world, because the trees leading up to that point were, like, spiritual guardians, like anchors of reality. And then he turns into a tree, or he always was a tree. I have no idea which one that is. There was just a lot of questions with X-Death towards the end, which is sad, because honestly, I found him to be a very interesting villain. Up until the point where, you know, towards the end, it was just kind of like, why are you doing this? Where did you come from? How did this get to this point? Why are you doing this? And I felt like there could have been a lot more built into that. Like, why? What is his motivation? Let's see. Beyond that, job system, really liked it. I still think 10.2 has the better iteration, but I really liked the being able to switch around abilities type of thing. Being able to custom build your type of your loadout, and so you could be like, you know, oh, I need some extra healing, or I need extra this, I need extra that. The downside is, because they had so many 22 different jobs, you end up with a lot of abilities that are just, I don't know when you would ever use these. I know from my 100% playthrough that I'm doing in my own time that there's a lot of them that get used when you're like trying to do the blue magic stuff, because there's a certain combinations you absolutely need to pull off to get some of the blue magic abilities and learn them. But in the end, on a casual playthrough, most of that stuff goes to waste, and there's not really a point in doing it. Heck, you don't even need to master all the jobs unless you're going for, like, achievements. Because, really, you just need one from each the best representative of each stat mastered. And then freelancer it up so you get the best of everything. Really, it's the passives when you're in freelancer mode that become the biggest advantage to unlocking everything else. Because you get all the passives. But, let's see, other than that, what else can I say about this game? I mean, I dug the two worlds separated. Really, more than anything, I want to know more. Like, that's, I guess, my biggest complaint. There's not enough. I want to know more of the history of this world. More about why the world had to be divided, and the rift had to be all this other stuff. Like, go more into the backstory, please. I would love it. And part of this just may be the fact that I'm not remembering it. This has been probably one of the longer playthroughs in terms of session-wise. How many sessions I've had to play it through it to complete it. And I'm not 100% sure. They may have actually covered some of this stuff, and I just may have forgotten it. And that's on me, but honestly, even if they did cover all of it, still would love to have more. And I think that's a sign of a great game. Like, when it leaves you just sitting there going, I would play more of this. I would play a prequel. I would play a sequel. You know, where's Final Fantasy V after years? Because I'd take it. I'd play it in a heartbeat. But no, this one never got any sort of sequels. Well, that's not true. It did get a sequel. It got an anime, which is weird. What the? Oh, are we just going to go reviewing all the stuff she had? Yes. All abilities learned. Everything learned. Same with everybody here. I maxed out all the jobs. Grinding in my spare time. I guess that really raises a question for you guys. I mean, would you want to see the grinding? Like, moving forward? Like, do you want me to actually, like, grind on stream and then just, you know, put that all in the stuff? I don't know. I mean, you let me know. I will happily agree to it, but I figure a lot of that's just me going back and forth and fighting monsters, like, left, right, left, right, left, right. Like, I ended up getting a ton of AP by going and, like, trying to find more of those. I did a bunch of it with like going around and doing that, and I also did magic pots and things like that with some of my elixirs. I like he gets to fight X-Death. Yes. But yeah, in the end, it was one of those things where it's just kind of like... Yeah, and then we got the anime sequel, which takes place like 300 years after this, and Bartz and Ferris and all them only show up as a ghost in the in a small flashback moment type of thing. Not a satisfying sequel. Not to mention, like, the main plot revolves around... It really takes a bit of the comedy bit from this, because, like, the main character ends up absorbing the crystal into her body, which is most notably noted by the fact that the crystal reacts and glows, which causes her butt to glow. Not even joking. That is an actual plot point. Final Fantasy Legend of the Crystals. Look it up. It's weird. And yeah. Ultimately, but I think this was a great game. It's definitely on my short list for some of my favorites, honestly, at this point. And I like the fact that the characters were interesting all on their own. Like, there weren't any moments where it's like... And that leads into, like, 6, where 6 has some really great characters. And this feels like a natural kind of progression where the stuff, except, you know, as I said, this one leans heavily on the comedy, and that's not bad. I laughed my butt off in parts of this game. Adored it. But, that was great. Oh, man. No, I really enjoyed that.
Hey there! Hope you enjoyed this installment of the Final Fantasy Retrospective. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like, a comment, or subscribe here on my YouTube channel. It really helps me get found by the algorithm. Also, here's a few extra videos that you might enjoy as well. The one up top is the full stream of this episode, and the other one is going to be something else that is going to be suggested for you. Alright, thank you so much. See you next time!